What's going on, everybody? Chase Luck with another episode of Down on Main Street, Georgia's #1 podcast for all things Metro Atlanta and North Georgia. With me, as always, is my host, Miss Melissa Brown. What's up, Melissa?
Hello.
How are you doing today? It's Friday, and it's nice outside.
It is beautiful. I am in full spring mode.
Yes, absolutely.
I will be going directly to my pool when we're done here today.
Yeah, the pollen count's only like 1 million, but we'll be all right.
I'm like immune to pollen.
That makes one of us.
Very lucky.
Yeah, I'm getting worse by the hour. I mow the lawn, and I have to pretty much immediately go to the hospital afterwards.
Oh.
But I'll be all right. We'll make it work.
That's terrible.
So where are we going today, and who do we have with us?
So we are going back to Canton. We've done Canton before, but I just, we feel like we can dive a lot deeper with a lot of the places that we talk about.
Yeah, we got a new medium now with some video, so it's kind of a totally new ball game.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Just one baby step at a time. Look at us go.
And did a lot of boots on the ground research on Canton a couple days ago.
We did. It was fun.
It was
a gorgeous day. It was really windy out, but the sun was shining. It was really windy, but it was a quiet day where we tested out doing a little bit of video content, and we were so awkward and embarrassed to be carrying around the selfie stick. It did not feel natural at all. Well, we've got to post some of like the B-sides and the mess ups and the oopsies from that. Yeah, we still got some good video footage, so we'll put that out before we'll put that out over the next couple of weeks. But we're getting over that hump. We also have a guest today that I found on Instagram and reached out to because I used to be a very avid runner, like a really avid runner, like marathon distance runner. It was my life. And how do you say that in running terms? That I fell off the wagon?
That can be used across a bunch of different stuff.
It got away from me. And somehow Jeff's posts were coming into my feed, and so I followed. And looking at those posts really inspired me that I was like, man, I miss running, and I miss the running community, and I miss long runs. I miss a lot about it. So I thought, this guy's got to be pretty damn cool. Let's reach out and see. And I was right, because Jeff, you're just the coolest guy.
I appreciate that.
And Jeff is opening up a really neat space in Canton that I want to tell everybody about.
Awesome. Well, first of all,
Jeff,
thanks
welcome.
So much. Yeah, thanks so much for having me on here. The Holler is the name of the concept. And there's 3 of us that own it. I'm one of the primaries. And the concept was kind of borrowed from a company called Shoes and Brews out there in Longmont, Colorado. And I was out there doing a brewery bounce with some friends, and essentially came across this place that was just that. It was, an independent running store in the front, and then a beer, and it was just a tap house in the back. And it was a Tuesday night. And what was interesting about it is there was over 200 people there for a group run.
Wow.
Right. And so the capitalist in me is like, hold on a second. If every one of these people buys a pint and a half, this is a nice night for a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So my business partner, one of them, someone I went to Florida State University with, came back and said, hey, look, there's an opportunity here as Canton, as a city, starts to align itself with the outdoors. And that was being, told to us through investments into trails, into the river, into the lakes. We've got a preserve up there near the bluffs that's called Canton Lake, or Lake, it's either that or Lake Canton. So we could see that, Canton wanted to be aligned with the outdoors. Now, if we could just find a space that would, this would work with. And to be clear, when we first talked about it, Canton wasn't quite ready for it. And I don't think I was yet either. But a couple of years passed, and we started digging in, and we found a place at 301 West Main Street.
It's a good spot.
It's a really good spot.
It's so neat up on the hill, and like you come into downtown Canton, and it's so pretty.
Yeah, we
so
like
pretty.
the space. And what's interesting, you don't know what you don't know until you do, right? So we found the space, and it's a third of an acre, and we're both like, it's not enough space. But then when you start looking at it, you're like, wait a second, a third of an acre is pretty good space. And it's located next door to an art gallery called Menagerie on Main. And what does that mean? It means the craft beer running community, there's a creative vibe to it, and we can do collaborative efforts with them. But we're, at the end of the day, man, the heartbeat of the Holler is going to be the running store. But we've got a huge beer and wine garden in the back with we're going to program it with music, with comedy. We've taken a shipping container and we've built a short order kitchen into the shipping container. So we have kind of the static food truck experience.
And the patio.
Right. Yeah, it's a very cool outdoor vibe.
I mean, I want to go hang out there. I wanted to go hang out there just reading the concept. I mean, you posted a few pictures like when I first came across your page, but after going there, I was like, wow, this is going to be the neatest space to go and just chill and listen to some live music, meet some friends, meet up for a run.
So for those of us whose cardio abilities are on the back of a milk carton, we're still going to belong?
Absolutely. In fact, I suspect initially, and who knows? I mean, that's going to be the lion's share of the people there.
Right.
But we wanted to have this niche that we could build community around the outdoors, right? And so we're going to have 3 running groups a week. We haven't decided on the days. Definitely Wednesday at 6:30. We're going to have a running group. We currently meet every Wednesday, 6:30 at Reformation in Canton. We're going to move that over to the Holler once we open up. And then we've aligned ourselves, we're doing partnerships. Probably, I don't know if you know of Murph's Surf Shop. They're up there on Lake Altoona. They've recently moved to the mill.
Did they really?
They did. Yeah.
Because I used to live near their old location.
Yeah.
Out Altoona, yeah.
Yeah. So kayaking, SUP.
Will there be a drop-in?
There is.
There is already?
Yeah, there is.
Nice.
And then the other one is Sean Wiseman. He owns what's called Whitetail Bicycle Shop. And there's one in Milton that's been there for years, and it's fantastic. But he's moved to the mill. And so, yeah, just the ability to kind of align ourselves with the outdoor assets that are, kind of close by. We want it to be a flop house for people that are into the outdoors.
Yeah.
For sure, right?
I love it. It's all of my favorite things combined.
I love it.
Music, beer, running,
Yeah.
and creativity, because you're right. I feel like the running community and really anybody that devotes that much of their time to the outdoors is creative and chill, maybe like a little bit of a hippie vibe.
Yep.
No
Makes sense.
pretentious, nature to it. I love it.
When the running became this kind of hobbyist thing, it was really born from the University of Oregon out there, and it was a counterculture activity.
Like Prefontaine times?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. He's going to be in our shop in some capacity.
Nice.
But yeah, that's, it came from that, right? And so it still feels that way, and to be clear, we've got all kinds, all types that are in our running group, right? But it's the activity, the mental stillness that you can kind of achieve through long, I'm not a long runner. Like I'm not an endurance person. I'm definitely kind of your ham and egger 5K guy, but there's people that running a 50K this weekend, right? So we've got all types, and there's walkers. And, one of the things I want to do, and hopefully one of the first things you see on our website once it's developed, we want beginners, right? We want everyone to understand that there's a benefit to getting out and moving.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I love that. I love what you're doing. Love everything about it.
Now I want to go watch the Prefontaine documentary.
I know. It's a good one. It's a good one. There's 2 of them, and I think they're both good.
Oh, the one with the one actor who's in...
Jared Leto.
Was it Jared Leto? Is that who it was? And then there was the one before that where it talks more about his tie-in with Nike and his coach.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
making
I remember
the
that one.
soles out of like waffle maker and
Bowerman. I can't remember the name of the one, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's the guy that was in Almost Famous, the movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a great movie.
It's a fantastic movie, but I can't remember his name either. He played the reporter.
Yes, there you go. Yeah,
I can't remember.
yeah, can't remember the name of it, but find it on IMDb.
Maybe.
Perfect.
Maybe I'll ditch the pool and go for a run later. See, just talking about it gets me inspired.
No doubt.
You're going to get so many people moving. I just think that's the coolest.
So give us your thoughts. I mean, like on downtown Canton and stuff like that. So you're entrenched in this. You're in the system now. So like your neighbors, as far as other restaurants, bars, attorneys. If you need an attorney, you can get one every 5 feet down there.
You can trip over yourself.
So how has it been for you for the last 2 years? So you've acquired the space, 2 years ago?
That's correct.
So how's the neighborhood for you so far?
We love it. Yeah. And I think what's interesting about Canton, and maybe it's because I'm so hyper-focused on it now. So I live on Main Street as well. So I'll walk to the
Nice.
Holler
That's awesome.
Go by murals
Yeah.
and go by, points of interest throughout the city. And with Canton, and you probably noticed this, is there's so many nooks and crannies, man. There's a lot to it. So what I love about Canton is there's a leadership, the leadership that's in place right now with Mayor Bill Grant and the city council. They're really looking at the city holistically and putting plans in place that are going to, I guess, optimize kind of what I'm talking about. Like, think about going down, you're just walking down the street and you look to the right and you see this alley. What if we put a pocket park in there, right? What if we put an exercise opportunity in there? That's how they're thinking, right? So it's going to be an interesting town. And if you haven't seen the mural that was completed recently, it's called It's a Vibe, it's fantastic. It couldn't be, like, when I saw it, I saw the concept. I was privy to the concept before they did it. And then I saw the artist, met her, and saw her execute on it. And it's amazing. So that's the kind of stuff that's happening in Canton.
Yeah, and unlike Woodstock, its neighbor, you just have more development room and opportunity, I think.
Correct.
And that separation between the back of your location and that drop down to the mill, all that old residents and old housing and stuff's being revitalized and rebuilt on as well. So it's like you could live, work, eat, play right there in downtown Canton.
No question. In fact, I call him a partner. His name's Chad Davis. He's the representative from a real estate perspective for a company called Sanctuary. And they are building houses on what we call Kudzu Hill, which is just what you're talking about, that backside
right
near the mill. And yeah, as more people move to the area, and different things, I've talked about Becker, the German robotics company that's going to position itself up there in the Bluffs in Canton. As more companies like that come, the appetite to live in town is going to become more grand. And it's an exciting time to be a part of Canton. As Canton is reimagining itself, the opportunity to open a business that, quite frankly, is unique to the region. It's got its challenges. We're looking at 2 years, right? But we're super stoked about it.
Yeah. So are you guys food as well, or?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So just to talk about the community part a little bit, we're going to have the running groups. We're going to have people that don't run. We're going to program it with music, comedy, talks, for lack of a better description, like TED Talks, educational talks. We took a shipping container and built what we call kind of a static food truck experience there. It's a very predictable menu, smash burgers, street tacos, grilled cheese, Philly cheesesteaks, stuff like that. But it's set up as such where if we want to market a guest chef for the weekend to do Asian fusion or something like that, we can do that.
That's different. That's unique. I like that.
Yeah. And so I always talk about cities of envy when I'm talking to people about the concept. And Austin was certainly one of them. Now, Canton's not Austin, but they have a park. They have a shipping container park where they have different kitchens. That's stationary there in Austin. And so, yeah, that's where, I borrow ideas from other places that I kind of wish this was here. And
well, why couldn't it be? I mean,
right?
You're making it happen. That's
yes.
Yeah.
So let's see. Right now, as of today, before the Holler opens up, favorite place to eat downtown in Canton?
The Salty Mule.
Salty Mule. How about yourself?
You know what? I'm a going coastal guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had my birthday dinner there a couple weeks ago.
So good.
It is so good. And their hush puppies are a sleeper if you haven't had them.
Nice.
And then, so I love that whole, I cannot remember the parent company that owns Going Coastal and Queenie's and Downtown Kitchen, but they've got it figured out. Like,
no doubt.
I had my wedding rehearsal dinner at Downtown Kitchen, and Queenie's, I like to bring my clients and stuff to Queenie's a lot.
It's got, it's interesting. So Zach Kell owns those restaurants that you're talking about.
Super nice guy.
Couldn't be cooler. So the people that did our logo, I don't know if you had a chance to see the logos that we're working with the Holler. Rob and Candace Bunker from Bunker Design did it. They did Queenies, right? And so you mentioned bringing clients there. There's something about Queenies that's just different when you walk into it.
It's like it represents small town, but on the cutting edge and trendy.
Yes.
All almost in a logo and the environment and the build. I don't know who did their build out, but they nailed it.
Yeah, it could be Candace as well. So Rob did our logos. They're a husband and wife team. He did our logos, and everything about what the Holler is going to emanate from those logos. I could talk about those logos all day, but Candace and her team did our interior design. So when you go look at the gable and you look at the extension and the lighting and some of the color choices, this is from their firm as well. And they are located on Main Street in Canton. I mean, they're just top tier SCAD graduate design folks.
And you can hoof it around that entire area so easily. Like
Yes.
You can get everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. I want to go.
Well, this is a good time to do our vibe reading.
All right.
Let's take the folks that have never experienced Canton.
Let me set the mood. Hold on.
Bring it alive for them.
Set the vibe mood.
That's awesome.
All right. So, Jeff, we're all going to close our eyes.
All right.
And we're walking around Canton. You're smelling things. You're seeing things. Maybe the breeze is blowing. Maybe it's a sunny day. If Canton were a beverage, what would it be?
Oh, man. Fresca? Does that date me?
I don't think so. Not at all.
I can't do grapefruit, man.
It would be an IPA. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
An IPA. Yeah. Well, and with Reformation being so big down there, I don't know. I need to think about it for a second. What do you think? What's yours?
I'm going to stick with the local. Like Reformation, they have like their IPA when it's warm outside, and then they have another one, Jade, I think, when it's a little colder, a little cooler fall time. I'd switch it up. But I'm sticking with Reformation depending upon the season.
All right. Yeah, I can go with that. I'm going to go with a Reformation creation that we served at Sidelines, and it's a Jude with a little bit of OJ in it. So it's sort of not exactly a mimosa, but sort of a mimosa, like a craft brew mimosa.
Jude was the high gravity, right?
Jude is, I believe, the citrus one.
Citrus one? Okay. I can't remember which one's the high gravity.
Yeah, so tonight at Reformation, the women's professional soccer league, that we're getting a team in Canton, they're doing this kind of coronation at Reformation, and Reformation has made a beer for the event. And so it's going to have the kind of logo on the can and all that, but it's called Ranch Water Lime. Oh. So I believe it's a vodka.
They're getting all of these
ready to drinks.
Yeah, ready to drinks. I just went to the one in Woodstock over the weekend, and I was like, oh, wow, they had 3 or 4 different ones.
Yeah, their
That's
blueberry
cool.
one for our running group seems to sell very, very well.
Yeah.
And this lime one tonight, like I said, my wife, we're going as a family tonight just to support it. My wife's pretty stoked about trying out the lime.
Ranch water is all the rage right now. Those are good.
Yeah.
Especially with the weather warming up.
And speaking of that, we're like, whoop, I guess I need to have my microphone turned up. Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties today. Rolling into the warm months, like spring is here, right? So there's a bunch of really cool stuff starting soon as far as festivals and activities and stuff in Canton. And I've got a list.
Yay.
Let's hear. Well, first I want to know what song.
Oh, that's
okay.
right,
So if Canton were a song, what would your song be?
Gosh, so this is going to sound like a cop-out. A Day in the Life by the Beatles.
I love that song. No, it's a great one.
The Beatles are never a cop-out.
That's a great one. I feel like Canton, because the growth there has been organic, and but like watching the progression of Canton over the last 10 years and comparing it to other downtown areas, it doesn't feel as curated or landscaped. It's beautiful. There's a lot of lush landscape, but it doesn't feel as, as curated. So it feels more like maybe like a backyard barbecue that you don't want to leave, with perfect weather and like a house party almost. So my song is Walking on Sunshine. Just really happy.
And I've got a Zach Brown song in my head, and I cannot remember the name of it.
How's it go?
I'm not going to start singing.
Well, you don't have to sing.
Because if I do it, every time I try to actually start singing, I'll get calls from record producers and all kinds of crazy stuff, and I just don't feel like
You're
this
too
one.
busy.
gotta beat
You
'em
don't
all.
have time for
Yeah,
that.
it's tough. It's a tough world. Maybe Countryfied, maybe. I think that fits.
I think that's a good one.
Plus,
I think
he's
any
from
Zach
here.
Brown song. Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
I mean, we used to go
Any
see
Zach
him when he
Brown
was
show.
playing in a parking lot for like 20 people.
Dixie down there, Dixie
Oh,
Tavern.
yeah. Great music spot, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so as you were saying, I'm sorry.
Yes. So the festivals, it's Canton Spring into Summer Festival, right? That's late May.
Yep.
Is it Veterans Park?
Yep. That's
Veterans Park.
So that's East Cherokee.
East Cherokee, right?
Yep.
Right. Upriver Festival. That's
That's coming up.
right. And there's a run. It's a run involved, right? 5K or 10K.
There's a 5K, and I think this year it's an afternoon 5K. And if memory serves me right, it's a very challenging 5K, but a good one. Like I like the challenge. It's a lot of uphill. It's an in-town race where you basically the first half of the race is all uphill.
So it's a street race. It's not
Yeah,
trails.
that's
Gotcha.
it, which I like. Ideal for me, and my running counterparts would disagree with me, but I love.
Yeah,
escape
that gets a heart rate up too high for me. I'm a downhill guy. And then Bridge Mill. I'm sure you guys are both familiar with Bridge Mill. That's massive development, swim, tennis, golf area in Canton. They have Bridge Mill Party in the Park, and they have a cover band for Michael Jackson playing. That's in May 13th.
Nice.
And this is not like going to your grandparents' small little, HOA clubhouse to watch a local band play. This is an absolute development. Like it's a big deal. I went and watched Yacht Rock there last year.
Oh, fun.
You would have thought you were sitting in Piedmont Park watching live music. Like they do it up right. And so that's the middle of May as well. But yeah, there's a bunch of good stuff. It's getting warm outside, and everybody's going to be outside.
You don't even have to go for an event. I think that's what's really cool about Canton and the Mill. So you can just go down there on a Friday night, and even if there's not live music, which now that the weather's warmer, I think they have live music like every Friday, right?
do.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they have watch parties for everything. So whatever you're into, the Braves, Atlanta United, you can go out on the lawn there.
Yeah, that green space is great.
Yeah. I love that green space. I mean, and they're really creative with the way that they use it. And there's a lot of stuff there's stuff for the kids during the day on Wednesdays. They have minis at the Mill. So
Probably don't go on a Monday.
yeah, don't go. Chase and I went on a Monday. Everything's closed.
Everything's closed.
Just
The Holler will be closed on Monday. I have a day off.
Yeah,
The
don't go
only
on a
good
Monday.
thing about it is at least we were able to walk around and look like the typical older people trying to figure out the selfie stick and talk and not feel like a
Nobody
jackass.
saw us. We were so embarrassed.
I felt better with nobody being in there.
Yeah, even when we were in downtown Canton, we had the selfie stick, and we were like watching people leave the courthouse, and we were like, wait for them to go by. Okay.
It's clear we can talk.
Tell you,
They're judging from across the street.
so awkward.
exactly. Another thing that's pretty cool, and this happened yesterday, we're at the Holler getting the final stages set up, or hanging TVs in our retail store, putting up all the hooks and all this stuff. And this guy comes in. He's like, hey, we're shooting a movie here, and we need you to know that this whole area over here is going to be kind of blocked off, and you might have some interruptions, stuff like that. We're like, yeah, we're not open yet, so appreciate it. We signed off on it. It's becoming a big backdrop for movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and this particular one it was a Netflix movie. So I don't know much about it, but I know it's happening soon.
I was, so Robert Dyer, one of my attorneys downtown Canton, I was getting my living will and stuff updated when I thought I had a heart attack. So I figured I need to get that done. And I'm walking out and I see Jeremy Renner across the street there. He was shooting the last bit of Hawkeye.
That's awesome.
And I was like, this is neat. We're in Canton right now.
Right. Right. And it's just fun to see. Yeah. It's something, I think as a state, we've done pretty well on the movie front.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's always interesting when it comes, to our hometown.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise was bebopping around Canton for a while. And I know he did a Shot American Made when they had that great movie.
A lot of ball ground up there, too.
Yep. A lot of ball ground, Airport Drive.
Yeah.
And so I never saw him, but it's kind of cool to accidentally bump into somebody famous.
Yeah.
Besides myself.
That's right.
In my own house.
That's right.
So what else? There's the First Fridays that starts May 5th and goes all the way, I think, till October, which is downtown Canton in that area. So there's live music. They've got some really great cover bands. The Return, which is a Beatles cover band, is May 5th. Elton, an Elton John cover band, August 4th, which I've personally seen, and they are so good. Oh my gosh, they're so good.
What day is that?
That one's August 4th, and now there's one every first Friday of the month. These are the ones that I picked out. He's so good.
Really?
He played at Houck's not that long ago. So good. And then the one that I talk about all the time, the Purple Madness, my love-hate relationship with the Prince cover band guy.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that one. All of them are going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Here's what I will say, too. If we're open, we hope to be open by then. After hours at the Holler, after First Friday.
Heck yeah. All right. Yeah. Count me in. For all of these, yes, I will be there.
So what are you guys anticipating or shooting for opening?
Opening looks like the weekend of the 20th, 5/20, so right at a month from today.
That'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, it shouldn't take too long. But, yeah, we're angling for that. And if that happens, we would be open for the most of the – I think we just missed the Beatles one. But after that, it's exciting.
So
Excited
what else?
for
Are we actually going to talk about real estate at all today or no?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go a little bit outside because we talked about all of the places in the mill, and we got some really great. Or in our last episode, we talked about all of those. So I'm gonna leave that to video this time around, but I do want to talk about Prime 120 because that's kind of a sleeper. That's a little bit outside of all of that, but it's still an amazing place to go and have a special occasion, or, you just pop in there for dinner, but they have a great staff that's really friendly, really sweet, really personable and thoughtful. So that's on my recommendation list. And then also the Butcher in the Bottle has B&B Tavern, has a location right outside of Bridge Mill. And a really fun place to go and watch a Braves game is Wicked Wings, right outside of Bridge Mill. It was on some national list or some list at some point for being the #1 Braves bar in Georgia to watch a Braves game.
It's pretty good, man. I like it there.
Yeah, it can be a rowdy spot. So, don't go in there and expect to be babied. You're going to hear a lot of foul language. It's definitely.
And the good thing is,
if
you have a really hard night there and you sleep in the parking lot in your car, you can get up and walk to Soho Bagel in the morning and get a bagel.
There you go. That's a good plan.
That was great.
I've never had that happen before.
I've never had too much to drink at Wicked Wings ever. It's also a great spot when you get off the lake. So, and Sunset Grill is open, which is kind of in between Woodstock and Canton, but it's still in that part of Bells Ferry, which that's our old neighborhood.
Making me miss it
I know. Chase and I used to be neighbors, and we lived walking distance to Sunset Grill.
Golf cart distance.
Yeah. So that is always one of my favorite spots. I feel like they have the best lake food on this side of the lake.
Yeah, they've been revamped completely since we left.
Yeah, good stuff.
So
they are open for business now.
This is the place that's right on the lake. Where Ozark.
So that's JD's on the lake.
That's right.
Which is honestly, I haven't been there a ton of times. I always associate that spot with the things that were in there before.
Of course.
It was fun to go drink there. So we
every
need
place
to give
before
JD's
lasted
on the lake
like 30 minutes. I don't know why nothing lasted.
Very
there.
true.
Yeah.
The scenery is nice, and with JD's on the lake, they've kept it pretty damn close to how it looked as the Blue Cat Lodge or whatever in Ozark. So there's a lot of the same accoutrement and decor and stuff in there from the show, which is kind of a cool little twist.
That's true. And I've heard the food is good there. I just don't have personal experience with it because I love Sunset Grill so much. But yeah, that's a cool spot.
Yeah, that spot is on Slam on the Water in Victoria Marina as well. And I think it's open year round. It used to be seasonal. Now I think it's year round.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I know Sunset Grill is seasonal.
They're pumping a bunch of money. That's supposed to be the new flagship marina of the entire lake.
Oh wow!
So it's they're dumping more money into development and expansion there than they are any other marina on Lake Altoona right now. So that's going to be the spot.
Be good for Murphs that surf
Yes.
shop. Yeah. That's awesome.
And I'm watching my previous home just explode in value.
Always the way.
Yep.
Yeah. So speaking of what, so how are the home prices looking in
You've got so much speculation and with rates, doing what they've been doing and stuff like that. I've had a couple buyers that are like, no, I'm going to wait, or I'm going to sell when it was hot, and I'm going to sit and rent and wait for the bottom to fall out. And I'm like, do you know something that nobody else does? It's so much speculation right now, but Canton's on track for almost a 2% growth in value for home prices this year.
Wow.
So that kind of sticks with the narrative pre 0% or 3% rates and 2% when it's been crazy the last 24 months. It's back to kind of, at least for right now, what it was before, 2 to 3 to 4 points or percentage in equity per year. So it looks like it's on track for 2%. So there's not really going to be a falling out because rates have shot up, because we're still short on homes. People still want a place to live or to move up north. I mean, when you have the Cantons and the Woodstocks and the Ball Grounds and even the Jaspers with all this development and bringing people back into the small towns, which the small towns seemed desolate for 25, 30 years.
Sure.
People want to get in. But the neighborhoods like Bridge Mill or Woodmont or White Columns, the really big developments, the swim, tennis, golf, they haven't even been affected by rates. I feel like could be 15 and it wouldn't matter for places like that because people want to be in so bad. There was a listing actually right next door to my brother in Bridge Mill, and 2 days on the market, boom, sold, 30,000 over asking, all cash. So people still want to get in there. So those are kind of the anomalies, but as a whole in Canton and most of at least North Georgia and outside the perimeter north, you're still getting a couple percentage of growth and value in your house this year. So it's still a good time to buy.
It's still a good time to buy. And I feel like everybody is, what boggles my mind about people waiting for everything to crash? Like, we don't want that.
No,
Don't want everything to crash.
Absolutely not.
We got to keep this machine oiled and keep it moving. And we don't want it to crash.
Let's say if it did take a dip, not a crash. Let's say if it had a bump, right? If it did have a bump, well, when would that be? How long have you been renting or blowing money on something else, waiting for that? Well, you probably should have jumped in when you still could have maybe got in at a more reasonable price in your mind versus throwing the money away waiting for the ball to drop. And I don't know. Consult a financial specialist, a lender, and or your realtor.
Speak to a lender. I know one.
As do I. So what are we in for next time?
Are we going to go back to Woodstock?
Yeah, let's go to Woodstock.
Let's go back. There's been a lot of things changing in Woodstock. Well, not a lot of things. I really want to talk about roundabouts. I feel very...
Oh, man.
How do you feel about roundabouts, Jeff?
Yeah, here's what I'll say. In our area, we're seeing too many of them right now. There's a safety component that I have to appreciate, but it's just, for whatever reason, we don't know how to drive them.
I know I think because they're so new to Georgia, like when I come up on one, I'm like, I know what to do. I get like a little thrill. It doesn't feel normal yet.
You're solving the puzzle.
But I will say, like where I live in downtown Woodstock, like right there where Town Lake feeds into everything, it used to take me, oh my gosh, no joke, 12, 13 minutes to turn left and get on 575. And now I'm like, it's great. So I love it. And it also gives me anxiety.
The most upsetting thing for me is the fact that I should have had the sound file or a sound bite from European Vacation. Look, kids, Portland, big gun.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't have it. And I'm upset that I missed that opportunity.
Well, we're going to talk about roundabouts. We are. And we're going to talk about, I just want to talk about just traffic in general and some of the things that have changed over the last decade with traffic around Atlanta.
And you know what else? We need to start a session where it's, instead of a vibe reading, it's either a complaint section or whatever. Because I want to talk about bathroom etiquette in public bathrooms.
Oh, yes.
This has nothing to do with our show, but
pop off.
I feel like it needs to be
off.
said.
Let's do
Yes.
it. I'm down.
Yeah. More tidbits coming soon.
We're usually pretty positive, but yeah.
I want to complain, damn it. Well, sweet. That's it. Jeff, thank you so much for coming by today.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
We're stoked
so much
for
for
the
having
Holler
me.
and all things Canton.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
Partner?
appreciate it, guys.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I guess we'll see everybody next time.
All right.
so loud. Sorry for that.
Oh, that's all right. That was beautiful, man. Good